Hello, folks. Welcome to Holding On with Holder, where I talk to interesting people about interesting topics. My name is Steve Holder, and I am your host. My guest this evening is Ashley Seymour, recovering addict, busy mom, and all-around good person. Welcome, Ashley.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
I'm glad you are here. So you want to tell us a little about your background and how would you describe yourself?
Well, I was born in Kingsport, Tennessee. I'm 34. Um, just a small town girl. Really. I started dabbling in drugs when I was about 12 or 13. While I was in school. And then it came to I was doing drugs every day in school, couldn't get good grades. I got good grades before the drugs, but finally got sober when I was about 26, 27. And yeah, here I am now. A mom. I'm a
So,
waitress at,
okay. Did you do
yeah,
a
I'm a
lot of
waitress.
different drugs when you were doing drugs?
Yes. Started off with alcohol. And then it went to pills. My mom was also a drug addict, so I had, the ability to get my hands on all different kinds of things. My friends' grandparents, they had prescriptions, so they would bring stuff to school, and it just started from there.
Yeah. So what was your drug of choice?
Um, Probably pills. I would say anything that would bring me down and make me not out,
Yeah,
bring me out of reality.
yeah.
And I was also addicted to opiates.
And that's hard to beat. We all know that, right?
Yes. Yeah, I tried going, the route of Suboxone clinics and all that, but it just made it worse.
Yeah. Did your drinking and drugging ruin a lot of your relationships with family and friends?
Oh, yeah. Some still won't even talk to me.
Really?
Yes. But that's okay. That's their problem, not mine.
Yeah, that's true. So how old were you when it became obvious that you had a serious problem and you had to do something about it?
17.
17.
That's when I knew that I couldn't go a day without taking it or I would be sick.
Yeah. Did you get involved with crime in any way to get money for your drugs like a lot of
Oh,
us
yeah.
do?
Yes. I would rob cars. I would wait until people came out of the pharmacy and run by them and grab their bag.
Mm,
Um, my ex-husband would steal from Walmart and I would take it back. So there's a few, I can go to a couple of Walmarts, but there's one I can't go to still. Yeah, a lot of crime, a lot of jail time, homelessness. Not fun at all.
yeah, definitely. I know about that jail time and homelessness. It sucks.
Yes. I'm grateful for it though.
You feel like you needed to do all that to get to where you are now?
Oh yeah. Yes, definitely. And it made me more of a sympathetic person. If I would have grown up with, you know, the things that I had given to me, I would never understand what it's like to be in somebody's position.
Yeah,
Um, so I'm grateful for that.
yeah. Did you have to do a lot of time in jail?
In total, probably about 2 years off and on.
Yeah. So did you get all the probation and everything behind you, or are you totally free of all that?
Yes, finally. When I first got sober, well, the second time after I relapsed, I went to treatment and I had a few warrants out for my arrest. And I knew when I got out of treatment that I would have to, deal with that eventually someday. Um, but finally it caught up to me. I was driving to do a 12 step call and I didn't have a license, got pulled over, and I had to go for about 75 days to 3 different counties, and was on 4 different probations, and got off of all of them.
That's a big load off, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah, I remember it was at least once a week. I was having to go do something involving court or probation when I first got out of rehab or out of jail.
Yeah.
Didn't have a license, so I had to rely on people in the recovery community and my boyfriend, who I met in treatment. I don't suggest that, but it worked out for us.
Yeah. So what made the difference finally, Ashley? What made the difference to where you could do without the drugs and alcohol?
Loving myself, finding out who I truly was through the 12 steps. That right there. And also having people around me who understood and who had done the same things and that are living a successful life now, you
Yeah.
know.
It's always good to have somebody that's been through it to show you the way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I had
Somebody,
no faith that that I could do it because I was different, you know. But then
Yeah.
I got to know people who were just the same as me, even had worse stuff that happened to them than I could ever imagine, you know, and they still are doing the thing.
yeah. Now you're married with a few kids, right?
Not married yet.
Not married yet. Okay.
No, we're hoping to get married this year sometime.
Okay. Well,
I
congratulations.
was wanting to get my teeth. Thank you. I was wanting to get my teeth first.
Yeah, you showing off those pretty teeth. I've seen it on Facebook. Congratulations.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, drugs took my teeth from me, so I finally got some better ones.
Yeah. So how many kids do you have?
I have 4, and then I have 4 stepchildren. I don't have my 2 girls. I had to give my first girl up for adoption. I don't tell many people that. I was in the midst of my drug addiction and I couldn't take care of her, so I gave her up for adoption.
Yeah.
And then I have another daughter who I don't have custody of.
Yeah. Do you still go to 12-step meetings?
Not anymore. No.
So how do you get your support now? What's your support system?
My family, my coworkers, I still talk to people that do go to 12-step meetings. You know, it just it got too much for me and it took me away from my family. And, you know, I still do the 12 steps. I still help others, work with the homeless community some.
Yeah.
And that is what I have found, you know, fills my soul, is trying to help people in the homeless community.
Yeah. And how do you help people that are trying to get sober? What, you tell them your story, or how do you help?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I tell them my story. I don't hold anything back. I make everything about me, you know, public. That way, if anybody is struggling with anything that I have went through, they can look at me today and see that, you know, they can do it too.
Yeah. And that's important. We need people
Yeah.
to look at and say, yeah, if he or she can do it, then I can do it too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So what advice would you give to someone new in recovery, just trying to learn how to live without alcohol and drugs?
Build up your support group and pick up that phone. Call anyone and everyone that will listen to you. And surround yourself with people that, you know, you want to be like, because I believe that who you're around is who you become.
And that makes a lot of sense, and that's really important.
Yes.
I remember when I first got sober many years ago, my old drinking buddies came around for a little while, but then when I said, no, I don't want to drink, they didn't understand. Oh, you can drink just one.
Yeah.
I realized right quick, I cannot hang around with them people anymore.
Nope.
No way.
Not at all.
Yeah. So did you read a lot of recovery literature when you were first getting sober?
Oh, yes, I did both NA and AA. I was hardcore gung ho, probably going to 3 or 4 meetings a day.
Yeah.
I chased my recovery like I chased my dope, and that's how I got clean.
And that's necessary.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. So do you still read recovery literature?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Do you find that helps you to be serene and keep your peace of mind?
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
I still do my prayer and meditation every night, you know, and I try to pick out my flaws as I see them and change them,
Yeah. So what's your favorite recovery book?
Probably the original, the Alcoholics Anonymous book.
Yeah.
It's
definitely
beautifully
helped-
written.
Yeah, it's definitely helped a lot of people, including me.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So do your friends and family support your recovery? They
Oh, yeah.
understand?
Yes, for sure.
Do you journal? I know a lot of people in recovery like to journal. Is that something you do?
No, not really.
Yeah.
No, I mainly do it all up here, prayer at night, meditation, listening through the day.
Yeah. So do you keep up with politics and current events?
Yes, I do.
Okay. Then let's talk a little bit about politics and current events.
Let's do it.
All right. Are you a Democrat?
No,
I know you're not a Republican.
no.
So what are you?
I don't put labels on it. I'm a human being who cares about other human beings and that doesn't like to put herself in a box, you know. Um, I just believe in letting people live the way they need to live. And as long as it doesn't hurt anyone else, I'm okay with it.
Yeah. Do you think capitalism should be done away with?
Yes and no. Um, you know, capitalism is there for a reason. If it wasn't for capitalism, we wouldn't have, little restaurants becoming chains like Pal's, McDonald's, things like that. But on the other hand, these companies don't care about their workers because they can just get another one.
Yeah.
So it's yes and no.
Yeah. I really get tired of hearing people say, well, there's all these jobs available at fast food places. People don't want to work. I think, well, if you pay them enough money to where it makes sense to work, then they will work.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And the restaurant industry, which I work in, is really struggling right now. But like you said, if they would pay us more and give us benefits, which my company does, but other companies do not, and that's what we need is. I think the whole customer first idea, and the customer is always right. I think that needs to change because it abuses the employees.
Yeah. Have you been abused and treated badly?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had to go into the into the walk-in and cry.
Right.
I've had to send managers out, to talk to people who just, are just being mean. And I'm just
So are you a
human.
waitress or a cook or what do you do?
I'm a waitress.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you do good with tips?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I can't complain about that.
I'm sure you earn it.
Yeah, I love my job, and I think that's a part of it. I like for people to, have a good dining experience, and maybe a couple laughs. And I read the people, and I can pretty much tell how they want their service. So I try to accommodate, and I don't have to take my work home with me. I'm there, get my work done, and go home.
And I imagine sometimes you have to deal with customers who are drunk or high on drugs.
Yeah, that's happened quite a few times. Yeah.
Is that more of a challenge, you think, than it would be if you weren't recovering yourself?
The challenge is not intruding and, not trying to offer help because, I see it every day and it makes my heart sad, but what can you do?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I'd love to just reach out and help every one of them, but that can't happen.
yeah.
So did you ever consider getting into politics?
No, not at all. I never liked politics. I never followed them until the orange man came in the picture. I knew nothing about it, honestly.
Yeah. And I think me and you both kind of got wrapped up in that last year, didn't we?
Yeah.
So does your family and friends generally go along with your politics?
um, I choose my friends, so yes. um, I have some friends on the opposite side, I guess you would say. And I don't, I have lost some friends, I can tell you that. And I have made some family really mad to where they don't want to talk to me anymore. But I mean, it came to the point where you have to draw a line in the sand.
Yeah.
And I drew that line.
So what do you think about the current state of the world?
It's sad.
Yeah.
I just want I want it to be peaceful. But people have to fight over religion and politics, and these people really don't even care about us to begin with. Some of them, most of them.
Yeah. So do you think that there's really a big racial problem in America? Is systemic racism a real thing?
Yes, absolutely, without a doubt, 100%. Yes.
Yeah. I hate to hear people say that it doesn't exist. It makes no sense for them to say that. I like to point out to people, our founding fathers, this country was built by and for rich white men. And for many years, it was only rich white men that could vote. How could
Yep.
anything built on that foundation not be racist and sexist and classist, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, I hear a lot of people say that white supremacy and white privilege doesn't exist. I don't. Of course, it's only the white folks that say that, I guess.
Yeah. I know for a fact myself, I've experienced white privilege. Hey, I remember hanging out with Black people when I was younger, being told you're going to get in trouble. You're going to go down the wrong path, blah blah blah. And I was actually in a car with a Black guy and a couple of other white people, and we got stuck in the mud and the cops had to come. And they were just telling me, like, little girl, you need to stay away from these people. And then they were questioning this Black man, and that's the first time I really saw something like that. They were just assuming that he had us up to no good, and that was not the case.
What do you think about the current police brutality situation?
It makes me angry, and it needs to stop.
Yeah.
It's made me very bitter with the police.
Yeah. I'm still anxious to see what happens to Derek Chauvin. They found him guilty, but will he go to prison? That's the big question, isn't it?
Yes, and he better, or there's going to be cities on fire.
I'm sure, it surprised me that he got convicted on all three charges, to be
Me
honest
too.
with you. But, it's still not over.
No,
Still not over
it's
it.
not. And we got to get those other officers too.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's what, 3 more or 4 more, I forget which it was.
3 more. Yeah.
And there's so many instances where this just keeps on happening for no reason, and it's sad. And I guess the big surprise to me is that, I mean, we see it now all the time because of people having cell phones that can video it. But, I guess it's been going on all this time. Nobody just didn't realize how serious it was.
I honestly didn't realize how serious it was until last year.
Yeah,
And I feel bad for not realizing that, but it took a lot of it took a lot of self-exploration to realize I too had racist traits and racist things that I did, like, locking a car door when a Black man comes around, or, and I never realized that those were racist actions. So that's something I work on myself
yeah,
every day. Yeah.
yeah. Now, you live in Virginia now, correct?
Yeah.
Do you think it's any different there as from Tennessee as far as the racist situation?
No. No. It's pretty much the same.
Yeah,
Probably maybe even a little bit worse, because there's not much diversity over here. Yeah.
yeah,
They have a hill up here behind the courthouse, and they call it Inward Hill
really?
to this day. Yes.
Yeah. Kind of,
They held a KKK rally on the courthouse steps 8 years ago in our town.
wow.
Yes.
And I'm sure they still exist, even though they may not meet on the courthouse steps.
They do. They still give out pamphlets. They still have meetings. Yes. And I'm pretty sure our police force is involved in that too.
I wouldn't doubt that. I wouldn't doubt that. So what do you think needs to be done in our country to help this situation?
I think we need a whole new constitution, a whole new system, for sure. Because you cannot work with something that's been oppressing people.
Yeah.
And you need to build from scratch.
Yeah. Would you vote for Bernie Sanders?
I would. I would have. That would have been my choice. I didn't want to vote for Biden, but that's who we were given. So.
Yeah. Well, I voted for Bernie twice, both of the times he ran, in the primaries when I could. But I'm like you, I didn't want to vote for Biden, but anybody's better than Trump. I would have voted for a dead dog before Trump.
Yes, for sure. The way he talked about people, I was listening to a news clip the other day with his voice, and it was like listening to the voice of my abuser, traumatic. Like, I don't understand what people saw in that man.
Yeah.
Except for to further white supremacy.
Yeah. So what do you think the minimum wage should be?
I think it should be 15 for sure. But I think we need to slowly raise that up, of course, so it doesn't shock the economy. It should have been going up this whole time.
Yeah.
They should have never let it stay stagnant for that many years, especially with inflation going up already, So I think we've kind of worked ourselves into a position where it's going to be really hard to get out of.
Yeah. It's going to take a lot of people doing a lot of effort, sometimes making some concessions, and
And there's going to be having to be sacrifice. People are going to have to sacrifice their comfiness, and we're going to have to strike and show these employers that we are not going to settle for these wages.
Well, I hope it works out that way, you know, I really do, but in Tennessee with it being I don't know if it's the same way in Virginia or not, but Tennessee being the so-called right to work state, that means they can definitely get away with anything.
I don't know. I haven't worked here in Virginia much, but I do know they raised our minimum wage to $9.50 here.
Did they?
They did. And I believe our governor really does care. He's done a lot of things to combat social or racial injustice, and he got rid of the death penalty, which I 100% agree with, because there's no need to put somebody to death that could have possibly not committed the crime.
Yeah, I agree with you there. And it's certainly not uncommon really to find out that people that they put in prison really weren't guilty,
Mhm.
that happens all the time.
Yeah, there's a man named Purvis Payne, actually, that they're going to put to death, and he is innocent of his crime in Tennessee.
I've heard that name, but I don't remember the story.
Well, supposedly he was charged with rape, but it was actually he was going to hurt a white woman's aid, and a white man had raped her, and this Purvis Payne man got arrested and charged with what this other man did.
Yeah. Purvis is a black guy, right?
Yes.
Well, it doesn't surprise me, that doesn't surprise me.
Not at all.
So what do you think about the Free Brittany movement?
I 100% agree with it. The media has got to have some kind of regulation or something on it, because they have done this to her and to many other people who have celebrity status. If you look at all the child stars, they're messed up in the head, and the media followed her around everywhere, and she just got messed up from it, and I don't believe she needs to be under that conservatorship.
Yeah. For those who don't know what we're talking about Brittany Spears, who for many years now, I think 10 or 15 years, her dad has had the full power of attorney over everything she owns.
Yes.
And that's something she's trying to get overturned. And I think there's some progress made, but she's still not totally free to get all of her millions.
Yeah. It's sad.
Yeah, it is. Well, Ashley, thank you very much for being my guest. Is there anything else you want to say that I haven't given you an opportunity to say about anything?
No, I just want people to know, if you're struggling with any kind of addiction or mental issue, it's not too late. Don't give up on yourself. I love my life today. And back then, I just wanted to die. I wanted it to end. And I thank God it didn't now.
Yeah. So you've been clean and sober 3 years now, is that right?
6.5.
Oh, I'm sorry, 6.5. Awesome.
Yeah.
Great.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, thank you again for being my guest. Folks, thanks for tuning in to Holding On with Holder. Please subscribe to my channel and feel free to share this video all over social media. Ashley, I will let you go, and thank you again for being my guest.
Thank you. You have a great day.
Thank you. You too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.